my nose. You reap what you sow, and Lord, I know I took Route 87 upstate New York. I'm feeling like a sin, so I must be in sore. Got an angel on my right, the devil on my left, conscious beating on my brain. For every single death, I'm seeing ghosts, I'm being haunted like the telltale heart. I'm on the road alone, headlights in the dark. I've never ever ride it, kept my mouth shut, bet calm all around, and I'm running out of luck. Next soldier wants my job, better watch my back, or I'll be the one in the trunk getting whacked. Where the gangsters go when they die,
they don't go to heaven where the angels fly.
Where the gangsters go when they die,
they don't go to heaven where the angels fly.
Where the gangsters go when they die,
they don't go to heaven where the angels fly.
Where the gangsters go when they die,
they don't go to heaven where the angels fly. Flatfoot on the street, rookie on the beat, looking for the crack spot, trying to hit a jackpot. Half knock, one knock, gunshot, blow. Dirty cop on the prowl, it's all legal. Norma, a million, Irish, Sicilian, heritage and birth, on my soul for what it's worth. From London, Perth, Tokyo, Paris, caught in the abyss like my name was Ed Harris. Trying to build this palace, hearts full of malice. My soul's corrupt, about to erupt. Internal investigations got me facing 25 to life, I'm thinking kids and wife. They cut me up, rub me up, sweat my connection. Now they got their soul under witness protection.
Where the gangsters go when they die,
they don't go to heaven where the angels fly.
Where the gangsters go when they die,
they don't go to heaven where the angels fly.
Where the gangsters go when they die,
they don't go to heaven where the angels fly.
Where the gangsters go when they die,
they don't go to heaven where the angels fly.
Thought it was a lotto, as people took your numbers. Odds on the games and point spreads over unders. Went to private school, educated by nuns, but like a pagan lost his faith to the gods of the guns. A heist like the Rinksy ice ladies like rings for pocketbooks. Took the mix, thought they never see the click. Slapped on a wrist, his case was dismissed. You see him on a talk show, it pays if you're rich pops. Reach the bulls, just to bribe the judge. Should've scared him straight, should've gave him tough love. But that's when they called him from the jury to the warden. Everybody had a price, but this time it can't afford a man.
Where the gangsters go when they die,
they don't go to heaven where the angels fly.
Where the gangsters go when they die,
they don't go to heaven where the angels fly.
Where the gangsters go when they die,
they don't go to heaven where the angels fly.
Where the gangsters go when they die,
they don't go to heaven where the angels fly.
Where the gangsters go when they die,
they don't go to heaven where the angels fly.
What's good? What's good? What's goody? It's your buzzing cousin Ghost Boogie. Check it out. Tonight, we are tapping in with a real Brooklyn voice, Paul Nugent, also known as PNU, and Paulie 2 times from Lordz of Brooklyn. If you know the era, you already know the energy, and if you don't, guess what? You're about to, fam. This is going to be a dope episode. We're getting into his first memory of hip-hop, the road becoming a Lordz member, the stories behind the records, and what it really takes to keep a legacy alive over decades, man. And we're also talking about what he's doing right now, which is really dope, man, including his role as Ralph in the immersive play A Brooklyn Dream at the Brooklyn Pop, man. Check it out. If you're in the chat, keep it respectful, keep it culture first, and drop questions. And basically, let's go, man. So, without further ado, we got the one, the only, Paulie Nugent. What's goody, fam? How are you?
What's up? What's up? What's up, Ghost Boogie? Thank you for having me on tonight to kick it with you and everybody out there in cyberspace land, right? What do we call it now? The internets. The internets is out there. What's up, internets? What's going on, Ghost? How you feeling, brother?
I'm
Giving them hell as always, I see.
Hell yeah, man. I'm doing great now that I'm here with you, man. It's B-Boys Wednesday, man. And welcome B-Boys, B-Girls, everybody that's out there, hip-hop lovers, music lovers. We got Gorilla Strong in the house. I want to give a big shout out to Gorilla Strong because Of course, he linked me up and made this
Yes,
possible. Much love to you. He's like my secret ace in the hole when it comes
he
to helping
is
me get some of the interviews that I've got so far. So much love to the
definitely.
bro. And then of
Yo,
course
what
my
up, Gorilla Strong?
that's right. And then I've got my co-host G Dash Fresh in the chat. He could not. He's
He's
stuck at work.
fresh.
And Matt Ways is stuck at work too. So much love to those
Salute,
bros.
Matt.
But hey, man, yeah, Gorilla Strong's been a fan for decades, and he was like, "Yo, I got Paulie, man." I was like, "Oh shit, that's gonna be dope." Like, let's fucking go. So
Yeah, man.
I want to know, like, first off, before we get into the first question, I ask always, we start with a video. Now, it's
Yes.
very, very rare that when an artist has a song or a video that they've listened to maybe for the first time or for the millionth time, it's very rare that the artist and someone that's been involved in the making has its opportunity to tell like their side of the story and the intent and the behind and the why, right? Is there
Yeah.
anything that like give me a memory or anything that's a special standout to that song and with
That song, that video, there's
yes.
so many. Where do I start? It's almost as. First off, that is our second video. First things first, that's our second video, our only video with all original members from the Lords of Brooklyn All in the Family album, which that song wasn't on the original album.
Hell
However, both videos were directed by Mr. Ted Demme himself. Rest in peace.
yeah.
And if we know who Ted Demme is out there, he's the man who started Yo MTV Raps
Exactly.
in the back in the beginning days. He's also the nephew of Mr. Silence of the Lambs, Jonathan Demme.
No
And
kidding.
yeah, and he was an incredible soul. What a great guy. Had a lot of laughs with him. Of just a funny, hysterical, typical type, and I mean it in the greatest of respect, Boston type, knock around Irish type, college kind of fucking House of Pain type dude. It made sense. He loved us. He was married to our manager at the time, and he did our first video, which was an incredible experience to make a music video after being a fan of music videos. So, and this is in an era where you couldn't just get the phone and just start shooting. You know what I mean? Like we're so accustomed to nowadays.
Right.
This was like a fucking movie setup, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
cameras on dollies. You know what I mean? Like,
There was
a real
budgets.
deal director.
There was big budgets involved.
Budget for upwards of $100,000 coming out of our pockets. You know what I mean? But we didn't know really anything like that. It's get in the stage. Throw nickels at him, dance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Get in there. You know what I mean? So that was a sick experience. We filmed it on location in Bay Ridge, which we did pretty much the first one too. But this one seemed like there was a little bit more money involved. We were in this sick old school car, which was a gift from Danny Boy from the House of Pain. Shout out Danny Boy. He gave Gifted Caves this old police car. We had this shit on a dolly. We were going down the Bell Parkway, people, and there's like camera rigs. It was like a,
You're on the
sick
dolly.
yeah, on the all eyes. And being a young kid at the time, it was like, yo, this is fucking top of the world, ma. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like in the neighborhood, flexing hard like that. You know what I mean? Dun, dun. You know what I'm saying? It was just fucking crazy. And then everybody in the neighborhood came out. The House of Pain dudes were in town. In the video was what's his face? Matt Pinfield from MTV. There's a lot of MTV.
Yeah.
What do you call it? He was which the crazy thing is, we were a hip hop group, right? But yet they didn't know how to market us, so they really couldn't. The market wasn't really there, quite kind of yet, because we didn't fit into the mold of the House of Pain, the Third Base, or the Beastie Boys. That kind of, that 3 is the magic number hip hop group they had set up at one point. So we were coming through with just this sick vibe, and we had a lot of people there that weren't really hip hop dudes. Like Matt Pinfield. He's in the trunk. Obviously, that's part of one of the things. We opened the trunk, and shout out Marshall Goodman, who did that remix of that track that made it to the video version, because that wasn't the original version. Then there's an OC remix with the great OC on it, produced by Mr. Funky Man himself.
I listened to that one too. That's dope.
That's one of my all-time favorites. Not because I'm on it, because at first I wasn't on it. I was added later.
Okay.
I think Everlast changed up his verse, did a second verse. But I was added to that verse much later, and I was already just in love with the OC. The OC verse and the finesse verse, I was blown away. But the track that he did for us, I always felt like we needed to have more of that kind of stuff. Even though, of course, it's digging in the crates. Looking back now, in retrospect, I wanted it. Granted, ADM was crafting and curating our own sound, and especially in those days, you had to have your sound.
Yeah.
But Be Real was talking about it when you had him on. Like, the fact that Muggs stayed the producer, no outside interference, it solidifies your sound. Back in those days, you had to have a sound that puts you as, that's the Digital Underground sound, oh, that's the Cypress sound, you know what I mean? With the
biting. No biting.
No biting.
Allowed.
The biting shit was crazy. So anyway, we went on a crazy fucking run a roundabout. I do a lot of ranting, obviously. But my memories of shooting that video was like, wow. The overall was like, wow, top of the world. We made it. Now, my mother had passed away. Caves' mother, daughter, and sister had passed away. So it was bittersweet in the moment of it. But to have the whole neighborhood celebrating with us and shooting the video, it was one of my favorite videos that we have done. Not to say that the first one was its own. It's like your firstborn. You have your own kind of intricate relationship with that. That will always be that thing, and nothing will ever change. But everything else has its own little sparkle to it.
Absolutely.
That one kind of sparkled a little. And you notice I'm not on any verses on any of the two songs that dropped either. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm really like I can't believe I was a part of doing that, being a part of that. You know what I mean? Without even the verses and all of that, and this crazy maniac came later. That was like I was still like on the leash. You know what I mean? In the box. Kind of still, say the grandma. I just got the fur wet. They
were like, all right, let's just hold them back.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So that was one of my fondest memories of that, for sure.
So, and you mentioned like the first memory and the first thing is always the most important. And as we do about this time, I need to go ahead and get that little sound bright and then have that played. But check that out. It's gonna be something in the future. But check this out, man. It's time for the first question. The first question that we always start off with, man, please, what is your first memory of hip hop? I need you to put me in the room. What did you see? What did you smell? What did you hear? Who was there? Why was it important to you? And why are you? Because that memory ultimately is the reason why you're here right now, right? So
yeah, absolutely.
Give it to us, man. Let us know.
First memory that I could fully remember. And I've said it before. I was just talking to my boy Andy about it, so it's still a little fresh. I had an older sibling that put me on to Rapper's Delight. Now, what I mean by that is like nobody really kind of knew. Hip hop hadn't really become hip hop what it's been. It definitely didn't get the moniker. It didn't even get the rap moniker yet. It was still too new as far as any kind of semblance of mainstream. And back then, I'm going back 45 years ago,
yes, sir.
The medium was the radio and the TV and the movies. That was pretty much it. That was your big three. You know what I mean? Before MTV, before any kind of video, or anything before even putting visuals really to music. You know what I mean? It was usually just that standard bandstand shot with the group doing their thing, and that was it. No movie type scenarios or anything like that. So my older brother said, "You gotta hear this. You gotta hear this shit. I don't know what this is. It's crazy. It just sounds like people talking. It sounds like people talking. What the fuck does that? What does that mean?" So of course I'm listening to it, and it's got the ill bass line, Rapper's Delight, right? You know what I'm saying? Was that the Chic break, right? Was that the Heartbeat break?
Yeah.
It
Well,
was
no,
one
it
of
was
those
Good Times.
good time. It was a good time
Yeah.
break, right? Yeah. And of course, who doesn't love? It's
It's chic. That's
phonetic.
Rogers Nelson. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean. It just immediately your eardrums will dance, will move. It's gonna cause some sort of movement, a tapping, something, right? So I'm immediately hooked, right? Just the fact that it was put in that way, that it wasn't singing, it wasn't rapping. We didn't know what but it was like talking. It was, I guess, the best way you could break down was talking, which of course that's the root, right? Besides the drum, we come to the talk, right? So now I was in Dyker Heights, in the house I grew up with, in the upstairs bedroom, and I remember this is after now I had been put onto it. With I remember I remember the record sleeve with powder blue with that ill kind of like fucking
with the sugar
that
logo.
little sugar kind of thing. Yeah,
It
that
was
little
like
swirl.
Candyland. It was
Yeah,
like
that little Candyland swirl. I remember the record, but this is now I'm up in the first bedroom, in the upstairs in the back of the house, and it's dark. It's summertime, and the green glow of the transistor, that the receiver, and it's on. It was a Mr. Magic show. No, it was. I think it might have been a Quiet Storm before that on over here in New York at the time. 105 WBLS. We had WKTU, 92 KTU, and WBLS were the two disco urban market stations, whatever they want to
I
fucking call it,
remember
right?
hearing about WBLS.
Yeah, WBLS is where I first heard it now, not anywhere else. Like I heard it being manifested through the speaker. And in that darkened room with that green glow, it was like warm. You know what I'm saying? And I heard it. And I just remember, I was like, I was listening. I don't know if it was the dark room or what, but I'm listening to it. I'm like, yeah, it is like somebody. He's explaining to me, you know what I mean? Everything about some shit, you know what I mean? An 8-year-old probably shouldn't be listening to, you know what I mean? But I mean, the radio edits, and they had things, you know what I mean? But it was worded in a way that it wasn't so out in your face. Motherfucker, there was none of that. You know what I mean? It was the nuance of it all, and that is my first memory. Like, yo, this shit is pretty dope. And being in that room, felt like I was being spoken to, and funny kind of like I felt like I was in on it. I was in on the joke. I was in on the story. You know what I mean? I was there. My imagination starts going. Theater of the mind starts taking over. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I was in. I was hooked. And what it was, I'm the youngest in my family. How it broke down, I'm the youngest out of a long, like there's like breaks in the way my hierarchy structure went, whereas like musically the oldest wasn't up on me. I'm the youngest, the bookends. The oldest, his musical.
How many brothers and sisters did you have? 6?
Yeah. I had 2 brothers and 3 sisters.
Got you. Okay.
And rest in peace, 2 of them are gone, no longer with us. But so but there was age gaps in between all of that. So there were musical gaps too.
Yeah.
And growing up where I grew up in Brooklyn at the time, it was very it was dope. It was diverse. There was all kinds of shit. But like you had to be down. If you wanted to hear salsa, you had to be with the Latin community. You know what I mean? Like you had to be in the know. Like you know what I mean, to go fuck with this type. If you're a musician, you know what I mean, you would maybe go somewhere that you wouldn't necessarily go normally to check out some shit that not anybody in your neighborhood maybe is up on. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So you would break out and do these things. So I started I needed my own sort of, everybody in my peer group had their own sort of shit that they listened to. And I always say too, I gotta believe it's true. You get to a certain point, or you should anyway. I don't know what it's like with kids nowadays, but you get to a point where you listen to what's out there because you don't really know any better. Your taste hasn't really developed yet. You haven't really curated what you like. So you'll listen to top 40. You know what I'm saying? You'll listen to Casey. You might like some shit, some Tears for Fears, I like that. Or, Cyndi Lauper, some shit you normally wouldn't really until you got, I like Strictly, you know what I mean? This, or I'm all punk. Or I'm going just, strictly house music. You know what I mean? Or whatever it was, I needed that thing. I needed that thing to say that this is my shit that was mine and mine. You know what I mean? That I connected with. And for me, that was hip hop, rap at the time, wild style. You know, and again, it goes back to Caves and Adam. They lived close by me, not too far at all, and they were a little bit older, so they were up on all that. They were into all the graffiti shit, wild style. You know what I mean? Subway art, all of this type of shit. You know what I mean? So that's a whole other. You know, it wasn't until I first got that taste of, you know, Rapper's Delight, and then I noticed, oh shit, these dudes are into this type of shit too. They're gonna open me up a little bit more into this whole, you know, subculture that was emerging at the time. It was happening all, you know, almost, I hate to sound like it, but like almost like in real time it was happening, you know, in front of us. Like it wasn't there before. I didn't stumble upon it. It was happening in the moment, in the time. So that was another thing to kind of wrap my head around too.
Man.
Sorry, I could go on.
No, that's what we were. That's the reason why I asked, because
that's what we encourage over here, right?
Yeah, this is what we're here for. This is what everybody tunes in for. They want to know,
exactly.
Right?
We want to know.
So, like, basically, tell me, like, what changed after that moment, and like, you know, I want to know also to incorporate that thought. You know, what part of Brooklyn and what, you know,
I grew up in Dyker Heights, right?
Dyker Heights, that's right, my apologies.
Dyker Heights, Bensonhurst, Bay Ridge, it's all in a cluster. It's all pretty much all in walking distance. It's real close by. It's all pretty much the same neighborhood, more or less, right? You know, at the time growing up, very working class, Irish, Italian, Puerto Ricans. My first cousins are Puerto Rican and Sicilian and Irish, and like Coney Island is a lot of Irish Puerto Rican mix. Sunset Park, where I'm at, close by me, is a lot of Puerto Rican Irish mix. Bensonhurst at the time was a lot of mixed with everything, Irish, Puerto Rican, German. Like there was a lot of mixing going on right down in the neighborhood, and it was still very much. You know, we were in that paradigm of, you know, like rock or disco. You know, that's kind of like in like Saturday Night Fever has a good kind of touches on it, like early 70s kind of, you know, it was kind of polarized. You know, you're either on one side of the fence or the other. But inside of that, there was all these little offshoots that were going on. Like Caves and all these dudes, they were like real deal graffiti. Like they were like heavy duty, like Guido, like sons of gangster dudes, like Italian mob guys that are like graph writers. You know what I mean? Like there was a whole set of like rocker dudes, like, you know, like think of like Dazed and Confused, like fucking Pink Floyd, but they were like hardcore Italian dudes, like first generation off the boat, like from Italy descendants, and they were like listening to like Led Zeppelin and shit like that. They dressed like, you know, that old burned out rocker, leather jacket, fucking Ramones kind of look. You know what I mean? So optically, it was like, yo, if you were into it, I guess the next thing you do is you dress the part. You know what I'm saying?
My grandfather was 50% Sicilian. His
he's the Mezzo.
Well, his father, his actual real father, not his adopted father, but his real father was one of the bosses of the Cleveland Four. Can ran numbers for him back in the day.
Yo, people.
Yeah, man.
Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off. Yo, people don't realize Cincinnati and Ohio was no joke with the Italian mafia.
Kentucky, Ohio.
No joke. People think just New York City. Like, yeah, that's like when you think pizza, you think New York City. No, the mob was entrenched in America. Like, they were in the fabric. Yo, fucking Lucky Luciano won the war, some say. You know what I mean? Because with Mussolini and everything back then. But, you know, with all this new shit that comes out that we wouldn't lie to about, who the fuck knows, right?
Yeah,
but yo, it was serious in Ohio, man.
Talking to my grandfather about those stories of growing up and stuff like that was very fun.
Yeah.
You know? But, man, so, like, you going for...
The neighborhood was great. I could sum it up. It was great. We had all the influences of what was going on in pop culture at the time. like I was a part of it. Like I was there DJing, breakdancing, graffiti, and these are the ground. To
The
me, it was
elements.
just that. Yeah, this is the elements. This is the ground. This is the foundation. To me, this is you had to know these things if you were even going to talk to somebody about it. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like you can just be a fan. Like, oh yeah, I'm a fan of breakdancing, and you guys really do great footwork. No, you're like, yo, that's dope. Let's battle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's basically the mindset from early. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, hey man, that's great footwork. No, it's like, yo, it's either in your head you're like, damn, I got to take this dude out, or there's no way I'm gonna take him out. So I got to do some other crazy shit to undo the crazy shit that he did. You understand? So like right away that like what Q-Tip once said, right? Competition's good. It brings out the vital parts. Right?
Yes.
That's one of the realest shit I ever heard. I was pretty much being the youngest of six. I already came out the fucking. I was already hatched, ready for fucking competition. Right? You know what I'm saying? Because you know what I mean. The greasy wheel gets the grease. You know what I mean. The squeaky wheel gets the grease. You don't ask, you don't receive, bro. You know what I'm saying? You don't speak up, you don't get. You don't ask, you don't receive. It's the
Yeah.
truth. That's how I. And then I saw that kind of the whole rap competitiveness of rap and just even just listening to it had me hooked. You know what I'm saying? And I just blurted that one out there. But you got to help me, Ghost, because
No,
I'm like
no,
the
you're
puppy in the
great.
yard. I'll run all around the yard.
No,
You got to
you're
bring.
good.
Come
You're
on,
good.
Paulie, come back
No,
in.
no.
Come here,
So
boy.
I listen. I will. But because you mentioned something. You mentioned something that it really resonates with me when you talked about like the competition aspect of hip hop.
Yeah,
And you know, you had to come correct back in the day because I mean, it was very much like you get booed. You know what I mean?
yeah. Get
if
the
you
boo
weren't
birds.
fresh, the boo birds was coming, right? And especially if you made one mistake and they didn't know you and you didn't have like people there rocking with you, it's like boo. So you had to you had to be there. But I think about it like this, to sum it up, it's even go biblically, it's even in the Bible. We're talking
Yeah,
about the
yeah.
crucible, the refining pot, right? You know, under
Mm-hmm.
pressure, under heat,
Mm-hmm.
under refinement is
Come
how
on.
you get gold, right? And that's
Amen.
how you have to
Pressure bust
get
pipe.
purity, right? That's your 10,000 hours. That's pretty much what you're talking about. And through that's a lot of pain, learning, fails, and not even failures, but it's lessons, right? And you can't be
Yeah.
afraid to fail.
No.
So tell me, like, where did you start in regards to transitioning from, all right, this shit is dope and this is like what I'm doing, to now here we go. And also pause, because I have to ask, where at in your career were you, or in your life were you, when you showed up in the movie with as the stickball kid? And I'm forgetting why am I forgetting?
Bronx
Because
Tale.
Bronx Tale, it was one of my, I love that movie, and I love the gentleman that wrote that guy. He's such a gentleman, and
Chaz Palminteri.
yeah, and yeah, and it was based on his childhood and everything like that. He was like
That was
that movie's
yo.
amazing. So how did
There's
how did
so
how
many parts of the story. Go ahead.
please tell it all, because
No,
I'm
I know.
interested.
I'm
Like,
thinking.
how
I'm
did
trying to
you?
like. Oh wait. How do I pull this out of like
Well,
the whole?
here, how did you? Well, how did it
Yeah.
even happen? Like, first off,
Oh,
how did that happen? Like, how did you land that?
here's what was up, right? Ever since I've been a kid, I feel like in Goodfellas, ever since I was a kid, I always wanted to be a gangster. Ever since I was a kid, I was always into like acting. You know what I mean? Like playing out. Like I would always draw. Like if I would see a movie, I'd be like the type of kid. I'd come out of the movie and I had to be like the main character in the movie. Like you come out. I'm so excited and inspired. I come out, you know what I mean? It's karate. We're coming out with karate. You know what I mean? It was Rocky coming out. We're playing Rocky. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then when it was time to calm down, I couldn't contain it, so I would start drawing scenes. Right. So then the next logical progression is like, hey, why don't you start looking into being an actor? Everybody's saying you could do this shit. You know what I mean? You're always the center of attention. You're always telling stories. You're always telling jokes. this, that, the other thing. I'm like, all right, you know what? So I set up, I joined a play in a school down here, Fontbonne University. Excuse me, not Fontbonne University. Fontbonne Hall Academy. It's an all-girls Catholic school. All right. Now, I know what you're saying. I was a young kid back then. Okay, so bear with me. Of course, I want to meet girls, and of course, I'm an actor. Oh, he looks like James Dean. Blah, 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 whatever. All right, so let me fake it till I make it. Let me walk it till I talk it. You know what I mean? So what better way is that I knew a bunch of the girls that went to Fontbonne. They're like, yo, we're having to play. Anybody, we need male characters. You could be from another school and join the play after school. I said, yo, I'm in, no doubt. So I started doing, I started going to rehearsals and rehearsing the scenes for the big night. And I'm getting into it. And of course, I'm looking at the chicks and shit like that too. But I'm like, yo, this shit's dope. So long story, even longer, the play goes off. My mother and my stepfather came. It was dope. The minute the curtain call came up, I was hooked. I was like, yo, I want to kind of do the applause, me on stage. Ah, yes, the ego, feel it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, I kind of like this shit, man, definitely. So I start going on auditions. I start getting more and more into it. They used to have this thing called Backstage. You could buy it. It was an actual paper, a fucking tangible, and you went and it had whatever was in New York City, whatever was being cast, like a big cattle call. You find out where they're having it. You show up. You have your resume. Wait in line. You got just as good a shot as anybody else. So this has been going on a couple of years. I'm getting more into it. I'm also playing music. I'm playing the drums. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of in bands, getting bands, New York hardcore type shit. You know what I mean? Folk shit, break beats. Just dope, you know what I mean? Trying to be musical, stand apart, but urban, with Brooklyn, with New York, with dropping live break beats. Caves and Edge used to come to my basement. I used to freestyle. I used to kick fucking break beats and the drum kit in my basement. So anyway, I'm trying to make it anyway, performing, and I hear Robert De Niro is looking for a kid to be in the movie, and his new movie he's coming out with. I have no idea it's Bronx Tale. No idea. They went to one of the high schools by me. I went to Fort Hamilton at the time. They went there. They went to Zavarian. Everybody knew. I was already up on it. Everybody's like, yo, Paulie, there's no. I'm like, God, I already went there. I was working as a mailroom in a mailroom at Price Waterhouse in Manhattan at the time. So I went on my lunch break. I walked down. It was only like maybe 20 blocks away. I went there, dropped that shit off personally. They called me back like 2 days later. Jane Rosenthal. I went down, saw her, did a couple of the lines. They're like, oh, that's great. Can you come back this time? They gave me the whole script, the whole fucking thing. They're like, read it to let us know what you think, all of this. I'm like, all right. I'm like, this is pretty dope. I never ever that happened to me in an audition before. They gave me the script. I mean, maybe they like me. I come back. Now they got me reading with De Niro. But it's not him. It's one of his assistants, right? Yeah. So I do that. They like it. Yo, can you come back? I still have I should have fucking held on to it. I still have the whole script at this time. They said, bring it back with you the next time. I come back. I read with Jane. I read with Terrell. I read with her, but at the time I read with a different girl.
Okay.
So now I'm thinking that they're gonna, boom. I don't hear nothing for months. Next thing you know, they call me back. Well, I knew this. A friend of mine knew this photographer. She took my pictures. She's a famous photographer. She does People magazine. Anyway, long story even longer with that. She knew the dude Chuck Lowe, who played Maury in Goodfellas. And he was buddies with De Niro and the production company. I somehow got his number, spoke to him. I got Maury telling me that the part has already been cast. It came down to me and two other kids, and they got the guy that they settled on. I'm like, man, that sucks. I don't hear nothing. Sylvia Faye calls my house, where I was. My mother was my answering service at the time, and she told me, somebody called about some movie, something. I'm like, who? What? I don't know. The phone, the number's over there. So I pick up the number. Sure enough, they asked me to come down for a week and a half on the set. I didn't get the part, obviously, but they want me to do some background work, some stand-in stuff. Just be on set and do whatever. Yeah. Sure enough, I'm in the stickball. We did other scenes. I had lines they cut out. shit like that. I did a bunch of all different things. And the one thing that printed was the shot between me, De Niro, and Chaz. This is after Colangelo, for those that saw the movie, he didn't rap. So now they kind of have this rapport. And I'm like right in the middle of it all. And they used my voice too, and they didn't fucking pay me for it.
Oh,
Son of a bitch.
really?
So yeah, so Bobby, I'm coming for that check. But Chaz, I went later on, my wife and I, we went and we saw the live version of the Bronx Tale, which is what got him the deal on the strength of that. It was a one-man play that he was performing as a down-and-out actor. You know what I mean? The last $200 in his bank account, and the Bronx Tale was what pulled him out of the fire. And we went and saw him in Staten Island and saw his 1,000th show live. And let me tell you, if you ever get a chance to see it, if it ever comes to Denver, if it ever comes to Colorado, you got to go see that.
Okay.
The live version of a Bronx Tale. So for me wanting to be an actor is how I got. And I had done other stuff too. I did Jungle Fever, Spike Lee. That got cut out. I did Sliver with what's her name? Sharon Stone and William Baldwin.
Wow.
From back in the 90s. That was the one that was a very famous. Yeah. I did background work. I was walking by, you know what I'm saying? Like there'd be like a restaurant scene. You see me like, you know what I'm saying? Like this kind of in the back, like.
Yeah.
Excuse me, do you know which way the time is today? You know what I'm saying? But at the time, I was like, hey, I wanted to be in it, And in between all that, I'm into music, I'm dabbling, I'm writing, I'm kind of dealing with, maybe writing some raps, some songs, I was all about beats. I've been playing the drums since I'm 12. So things kind of started, and then I started getting into like, drum and bass and the raga and like house and rave shit. Kind of from the early 90s, we were going out to the Limelight. Like, even though I was all hip hop was just like, that was life, especially at this time in the 90s. It was like, we listened to eclectic shit though. Like in my Walkman, I'd have like Low End Theory, and then I'd have like the Mighty Boss Tones, you know what I mean? Like Devil's Night out, you know what I'm saying? Or Question the Answers on me, you know what I'm saying? Or I'll have like Bad Brains, you know what I mean? The Royer Sessions, and I have like, you know what I'm saying? Lords of the Underground. You know what I mean? Like I have these fucking or I have Miles Davis. You know what I'm saying? Elvis Costello, and then I'll just and then I'll put on Big L. You know what I mean? At that time in the 90s, like that, it was mix and match. I didn't really do too much grunge shit because I like to think I'm from the hardcore end of things. You know what I mean? The whole New York hardcore punk era. Lamore's era. CBGB's era, the whole New York City hardcore crew, you know what I'm saying? John Joseph, great brother of mine, you know what I mean? Danny Diablo, all these dudes, Madball, Vinny Stigma. Like, I was into all of this shit even before I started rapping, and it was Caves that it put it back into perspective for me when I saw him on the road with the House of Pain. I was doing house music type shit in Miami. My boy Drew, who was going to Miami University at the time. He's a sick piano player. What an ear. What a musical talent. And he always had equipment in the basement back in Brooklyn. He was one of the first person I ever knew that had an O2R board in their basement, a mixing board, the O2R mixing board. Everybody know the iconic. You know what I mean? Like, so we were kind of like fucking around with sampling some rave shit, some jungle shit, I wasn't really quite sure. And I was down in Miami fucking around, kind of at this point, really not really sure where I'm heading, I saw Caves. I was kind of writing some rhymes. I was making some house beats. I was making hip hop. I was loop. This is all 4-track loop shit. Very early, kind of like two
was
steps
it on a
up from.
Tascam or what was it?
Yeah, on the Tascam. Yeah, like where you had to flip the other two. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Were you doing an ADAT? Was it an ADAT, the VCR tape?
The ACAT Tascam, yeah. We had the VCR little tape on. Then we had the one that didn't have any tape at all, but it just had slides. Yeah. So you could flip it to 8. You could flip that 4 into 8, but you'd have like a backwards track. Kind of like how Bradley did Robin the Hood, the Sublime record, on that 4-track that they used.
Oh, yeah.
That was a very popular 4-track back in the late 80s, early 90s. It was everywhere. Like you could get it for dumb cheap. Yep. You know what I'm saying? So you know, if you're a gearhead or whatever, you pick that up, $20 in the bin. It worked
Yep.
perfect, no problem. You know what I mean? But it was dope if you knew how to freak it. You know, so I was spending a lot of time doing like I like to call it 2 steps up from the pause tapes. You know what I'm saying? Remember you used to do the take it real
Absolutely.
back
Pause
analog,
tapes. Yep.
go back, and then go back and try to get that loop. So this is like I'm fucking with the Tascam and the 4-track. I'm kind of flipping CD loops, bro. I wasn't even have any programming, no truncation whatsoever yet. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm kind of thinking, and I ran into Caves. He was with the House of Pain on the road.
Mm-hmm.
They were doing a rave in Miami, downtown Miami. I seen him. I was backstage. I was ran up on, yo, what's up? What are you doing? What's going on? He's like, what the fuck are you doing out here? I'm like, bro, never mind. I'm rocking with these rave dudes, whatever. He's like, yo, listen. I'm like, yo, man, I've been putting some rhymes together, bro. I'm working on some demos here. I had brought him a demo once before, I believe. I did with Brother Frank. That's when I started really getting serious about making demos, is with my man, Brother Frank, who was a hardcore drummer in the group Bomb Jack, they were a group Nobody's Perfect from the hardcore scene from way back in the late 80s. So he was fucking helping me with my demos I would bring to Caves, and he was kind of like helping me along the way, curate it. And then he had 88 Ad Money was starting to like make some beats for me. But it was all on the strength of when I saw him in Miami. So when I got back to Brooklyn and he got off the tour, they had a store called BMT Lines, which is close by my house. So I would start every day. I would just start going. I'd call the crib. I'd go by and see him, and I would just like get down, whatever I need. I was like, I go to the store, you know what I mean? Get 40s, whatever I had to do. I was like the spider, you know what I mean? I had to pay the dues. That's another thing motherfuckers don't know about paying dues. Like you didn't just get into a crew or whatever, just like, yo, I'm in. That's it. I mean, nah, you gotta fucking. There's levels to this shit, bro. It's like how, you know, a lot of people out there with gangs and hierarchy. Yeah, it's kind of the same shit too. The end game might be a little different, but you got to put in that work. You got to pay your dues. You got to show why you should why do you deserve this spot? How about a barber? You're renting a chair, right? You don't got nobody coming in that chair. Wait, I got bills, bro. You got to go. What are you doing?
Yeah. Right.
You're in the chair, you're out. You got clients or whatever. If not, no, you know, business is business. Christmas is Christmas. I think you're a good dude, bro, but you can't do it here. You know, it's a place of business.
Yep.
So I came through that school of, you know, back then it was, you know, they say, you know, where I grew up, you had to like, if you let people talk to you a certain way, you got dissed, you got ranked out, the Yo Mama game, whatever you want to call it. If you fall prey to that, you couldn't come around. You know what I mean? And again, going back to me being the youngest of 6, I had to be slick with the mouth. You know what I mean? And then I'm standing on it. You're gonna beat me up, whatever, but I'm gonna get some, whatever the case is, however we handle it. You know what I mean? I'm the youngest. I was always getting beatings in my house. You know what I mean? It's like, this is the way it came up. So, you know, we grew up a little, we grew up with a little tougher skin than most cats in these days. You know what I mean? And that's how you learn.
At the same time I grew up, as far as like, what year were you born?
Me, 72.
72.
I'm 53.
So I'll be 50 this year. I was born in 76.
All right, so we're basically the same age. If you get to that threshold, you pass a certain threshold, we're all the same age now.
My kids call me an unk now because I always say buzzing cousin, but like they're like, nah, you're an unk, and I'm like, so I'm the unk with the funk that smells like a skunk. You know what I mean? So
you get official unk status.
Yeah, I'll take it. Fuck it. You know.
Yeah, listen. You know, but that's how it was like, man. You had to be about it. You had to earn it, man. You know, meritocracy, bro. You couldn't just give it. You weren't just giving anything. It was like anything. Yeah, you had to put in work, and people see it, and it's how you respond to that. Because if you know you're putting in the work, it sounds so cliche, but it is true, and you have to look for it on different levels. When you're getting adverse reactions. When you're starting to see adversity start popping its head in the room every now and again. Yeah. That's how you know you're kind of making headway. It sounds so corny. Well, you don't have babies, you're not doing it right. And whatever fucking motivational bullshit people post up. Nah, but it really is true. It really is true. You'll see it. You'll know it when you see it. You know what I mean? And it's trust your instinct, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, People do hate. They do. We've done it. I've done it. You've done it. We've all done it. We're all guilty of it at some point. The thing is to, you know what I mean? We own it. We put it out. We, put it in the back pocket, shove it up your ass, whatever you want to do with it, and that's it. And you fucking move on, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And that's
Yeah.
kind of how I came into the hip hop thing. I had to constantly adapt, constantly.
Yeah, and then coming in a time that you did, so like,
Yeah.
so as doing research and everything like that, I see two different dates. One says 93, one says 92. What was the year you first started coming around the crew, and like when you started putting in the work, and how did that transform?
I'd say started loosely around 91. 90, because here's the thing, like I know Caves and Adam since I'm 10 years old. I know them through my older siblings. And
Was
like
it
I
a
said, they were
neighborhood or?
neighborhood thing, and they were the grafters. Caves he was legendary graft style back then, dude, in like 1983, 82. I was 10. I was in 1982. I was 10. So when I started coming around, it was 82, 83, the summer of 83. I was venturing off the block. I would go down to their block and see them. They would have cardboard out. They lived right by a schoolyard too. And Cave used to always bomb the schoolyard. So I'd always go there to see what pieces he put up. And Revlon too. Costin Revs. The dude Revlon, he's from our neighborhood too. Big up Revs. Him and Caves were tight. They would make sick murals, bro. Like, so I was always trying to be down with them from back then. So through the years, he was the first one to put me on to that freestyle BMX, flatland BMX. He's like, yo, they're breakdancing on bikes. I was in Caves' breakdance crew, just begun back then. You know what I'm saying? So like, I had always kind of followed, you know what I mean, his tutelage in a way, and because like he's saying, like he has 3 years on me, I got 2 years on you. Back then, it was a big deal. Like, yo, you're the older kid. You know what I mean? Like, you're up on the ill shit. I want to be down with you. I want to. Like, they're going to layups. You know what I mean? I want to go, but I'm a little kid. They're not taking me, even though they're only 2-3 years older than me. Nah, they're already teenagers now. They're already kind of like, they don't want a little kid fucking. They got to be responsible for slowing them down. God forbid. You know what I mean? I get killed. I get run over, electrified by the third rail, whatever. Right. You know what I'm saying? But I want to be down. I want to be with what they're doing. So it was logical progression once hip hop came around, like rapping. When Caves was battling dudes at Jack the Rapper. Like they used to have New Music Seminar. They used to have all these rap battles. Like was serious shit. Like I know you hear about all the legendary. You know what I'm saying? Cool Keith and everybody from all those. Like this shit was for real. And Caves was going. He was one of the first dudes I ever knew that was signing up for those battles. And then Scotty Edge was signing up for those battles too, unbeknownst to any of us. I knew Scott could rhyme, and then through that, Caves and Edge started getting tighter with coming up with more of a group. And now I'm watching this go on in the early '90s too. And don't forget, I'm still playing drums. I'm still living in Dyker Heights. I had the basement. I had my drum kit in the basement. So I still kind of had some sort of hand in the pie, something kind of keeping me involved, And then it was that winter of '93 is when I saw Caves. I was like, yo, when I get back to Brooklyn, I want to get in and do this, you know what I mean? Like work underneath the banner, in the crew for real. Coming up as a whatever hype man. Started off as a hype man, you know what I mean? However I could fit in. And then I remember The Papers was the first rap I did, first verse I wrote. I think it was like 8 bars. I think it was like 4 or 8 bars. It was like something real light for me, real light work to do. I couldn't fuck up too bad, you know what I'm saying? To see but I now looking back, I see what Caves is doing. He's grooming me to see how I'm gonna work in the studio setting. And back then, we went to the dude, John McCann. The dude lived in like a sick apartment in the city of Manhattan, like this ritzy building. And we go in there, and it's like fucking, and we go in the house, and we get into his place, and he's like some college dude. He's a stoner, like like a burnt out trust fund baby, like from fucking way back. This is what I'm thinking. He was a great guy, though, but I don't know any better. And this is where, like, I cut my teeth. No demos, like an actual real 2-inch tape, Ampex at this spot in fucking Manhattan, and that was the Papers. It went through a bunch of different versions of what was now released, but it first started off with the Papers on the Lords of Brooklyn All in the Family album. All of that culmination, that was 93. So 91, 92 was kind of like I was kind of trying, seeing I was still coming around, but I was still kind of, being in Brooklyn at that time, very close to Manhattan. I'm from the era of like, you make it happen, Captain. You get in the streets, you pound the pavement. So I had a lot of resources, but I know Cave's a guy, he's got this thing going on. I know this dude over there, they got this kind of shit going. So I was acting as a real opportunist to see what was, and now I'm already done the Bronx Tale. So now I'm thinking, well, I could get back into the movies. If I think of, join a rap group, we do good, you know what I mean? We're going to be filming videos. I'm going to be rubbing elbows with these cats. I could backdoor my way into the acting thing, which wound up happening, just not the way that I had intended or anything like that, Many, many years and many water, many waves crashing under that bridge till I got to this point. But yeah, back then, 93 was official. On the books, official, like, yo, I'm a member, I'm Paulie 2 times. And Kane said to me, after watching the Bronx Tale, because it came out, he's like, yo, I'm going to blow you up on that. You were Paulie 2 times. I'm like, at the time, I was like, Paulie 2 times. Like, I want to be like Buckshot Shorty. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, this is what I'm consuming at the time, I was all into the boot camp shit, you know what I mean? Like, and which we wound up running into them at D&D Studios, which is dope. Shout out Eddie Sancho and them. But I got so many fucking stories, bro. Stories, holy war stories in the house. Yo, I just went on a sick rant. But yeah, 93, from what I remember, 93 is the actual date where I started rapping for real.
I mean, that's dope. And like, don't worry about the rants, bro, because that's what you're telling. You mean you were around some people that definitely everybody wants to know. We are keeping your questions, and we're going to ask some questions from the audience at the end and everything like that. I just want to do a check with you. How are you doing on time, sir?
Oh, I'm good. I'm having a great time. Brought up so funny. Brought up a quick going so far back, 1993. Yeah. Now we were on Mercury, and we were label mates with Yag Fu Front and a little group you might have heard of. I don't know. It's been a long time now. I don't know, called the Fugees. Yeah. We were all label mates, bro. We were all in the same stable at one point. You know what I'm saying? We see these people all the time, record meetings. It's just so crazy how, looking back, man, 30 years, 35 years later, like how everything is like, how all the chips fell since then. Because I've seen a lot of crazy shit. I've seen a lot of come and go, a lot of good, a lot of bad. Like, quick fun story. We were in the spot. This is a long time now. We had the section out the night they lit up Tupac at Quad Studios in Manhattan. So yeah,
you were there?
We were there. We were the session early. We had 8 hours before them. We played Junior Mafia and Pool. Biggie was a fan of Lords of Brooklyn, bro. We were trying to get that shit in the works. He loved the whole Mafia shit. You know what I mean? Like, and that's another thing that's where the Lords of Brooklyn image changed into the Bronx Tale look that we have. We were coming out officially as like white boy graph dudes. So anybody knows Videograph, all the graph writers out there say, oh, everybody remembers Lords of Brooklyn first cut their demo on Videograph. I think it was Videograph 4. I forget exactly which one it was. But yeah, they aired the first video there. We were supposed to come out like on some ill, dirty white boy graph Ducky Boys type shit. And then there was another group that came out, Artifacts, that came out on the graph tip. Yeah. Shout out to L recipes.
Artifacts.
But at the time, this was a no-no. Going back to that whole fighting thing. Now, I don't blame them. I blame the people that were around them at the time. You got to remember a lot of A&R. There used to be a thing called the A&R back in the day. And, Yes Men Street Team, all of that. That shit was real. It existed. and it fucked a lot of people up, and it got a lot of people fucked up. But you know what I'm saying? Like it was real back then. I'd be in Chun King Studios, and we'd come out of the studio, and we'd
Shout out
bump
to
into
Chun
like,
King Studios, man.
yeah,
Wow.
shout out to John King, and there'll be your favorite rapper with his ear to your studio session as you open the door, boom, bump into, oh shit, sorry, Drez. All right, man, what's going on? We guys in Studio A? All right, cool. I'm
Drez,
heading to the store. You guys want some?
Drez
Yeah, my man,
DRES.
shout out Drez from
Ooh, Black
we took a
Sheep.
shit. Yeah, my man, that's my dude. We were in the elevator with him and Mr. Long at Chun King. Me and Scotty Edge going to the store to get beers, and we were listening. And I was like, God, I'm a huge fan. When I first started rapping, I sounded like a combination between Pooh Bah and Drez. That's like my two
Yeah.
favorite MCs at that time, at that moment. Obviously, I was into Kane, but by then all that flow had kind of like subsided for me anyway at that time. But yeah, that was a crazy story. And Chunking, shout out to Chunking, seen so many dope rappers, and I've always been a fan. It's crazy. The kid that was dreaming about all this shit in the bedroom did all of that. You know what I mean? Like so to kick it with you and everybody out there to talk about this shit is a full circle. You know what I mean? Don't ever stop being a fan. That's how I've just always kept my quest for knowledge up as a fan of it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And of this thing. So, and then when I step back, I never really stop and think about these stories. So when you see me popping out with this, I'm like remembering it on the fly. You know
No,
what I'm
it's
saying?
great.
Like,
You're
you
doing
know,
so what's great about this is honestly you're doing all the work for me because you're answering the questions that I have. So
I'm
like
giving the question,
you're
answering the
doing it.
question.
You're
I'm
doing it,
writing
bro.
out fucking.
I love it. So don't please never
I'm,
apologize,
I'm
fam.
writing out the whole transcript. I'll have it
Yeah.
transcribed and sent to you by the end of the session.
This is I mean, this is a conversation, man. This is because honestly,
Yeah. Hey, this is what it's about, right?
this is what it shows in my mind, just to kind of draw a circle. You've been a creative person since you were born, and I can
Yeah.
relate to that as well. And you have this calling and a talent that has propelled you. And the one thing that is difficult is a lot of people that are creatives that are out there sometimes lose their way, or have to not realize or not had the opportunity to be around the folks in the circle or whatever it is. But the biggest thing, it takes perseverance, right? You have to put in the work, you have to put in the hours, and really be good people too. I mean, you have to do good, clean, honest work and not be shady, right? Because shady shit gets whatever's
Comes
done
back to
in
you.
darkness is
Always comes to light.
it
Amen.
comes to light, man. So how throughout these years would you say what would be one of your biggest things that you've learned from being in the industry this entire time to now, like being that kid from 91, 92, 93? You're around Fuji's, which I want to ask a dope Fuji question too, but you're around all of these people and you're in these sessions and you're at the studio and stuff. You learn all of these things. What would be something that you would tell a creative, right, about the perseverance, about how you break through, like, and push through and continue to follow your dream?
Well, that's a question that's got a few tiers to it,
Yeah,
right? And I mean TIER, not TEAR, as in tears, tears. But
yes,
it's a
sir.
multi-tiered question, or an answer, because the time and experience I like to refer to it as is the gold. You know, there's so many different ways people get into it. The main thing is to not lose that sight of why you started. Now, it doesn't mean you have to take bullshit projects or do things you don't want to do for the love, man. No, that's just manipulation on somebody else's part, right? I think we all know that.
Yeah,
No, what you want to do is It's okay to get mad at your art. It's okay to walk away. It's okay to do whatever you need to do to get grounded again. You know, they say it like with you hear it with the old cliche. Well, if you love something, you set it free, and if it never comes back to you, then it was never yours. Yeah, kind of. You know, in theory, yes. But what the fruit to pick out of that is you don't gotta see everything to the end. You got there is a way of knowing when to. It's not giving up. It's knowing when to decide what's no longer benefiting you anymore. You know what I'm saying? If you're shirking your responsibilities and you're sleeping on a couch to get this EP out that you think is going to save you, I don't know about that. You don't want to hear it, but I'm going to be the one to tell you, yeah, get mad at yourself. Throw it all away. Rip it down, tear it down. If you want to build it again, if it really is a spark, it's going to burn back again. It's going to burn that whole house down again. You got to fan the flames. You got to kindle. The kindle starts with the kindling again. If you want that, if it really is burning inside of you. If you're wasting your time on kindling, if you're trying to make two rocks kindle, you know what I mean? And if you can make that thing fucking fire, bro, wow, I'm going to be asking you questions. But till I see that, there's better ways to get that kindling going. You know what I mean? And it doesn't mean you're giving up. It's about what makes practical purpose. I can tell people, like, you dress age appropriate. I get it. We all love certain things and everything, but, like, let's just be honest. Some dude wearing some ripped $7 million jeans who's like fucking 60 years old. Come on, bro. That's dope and pretty sick. But the YNs don't give a shit about what you're wearing. They don't care, but they don't. I come from, like, I wanted to be down with the older people. These young cats, I don't know. So I'll kick it in your ear if you got time to listen to it. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people, I used to say, you know what, you'll learn on your own, but, like, that's not the case for a lot of people, and a lot of people aren't going to make it, and they are going to waste their time. You know what I'm saying? You know, and it's like, if you don't have that critical thinking, you don't have that discernment in you, that's where I think it would have to all stem back from if you're going to decide to do anything. Because there are plenty of times I've walked away from a lot of things because of my integrity, because I wanted to stand on. Because I know to this day, no matter what I've done, I go to sleep very well at night. You know what I mean? I don't worry about. I never did nothing wrong to nobody, and nobody ever got it that they didn't get coming, that they deserved it. You know what I'm saying? So I stay in our business, and you know what I mean. I keep it moving. You know, and in this life, you're gonna have to. I've walked away. I've reinvented myself more times than I could think of. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't be alive and standing to this day if I didn't reinvent myself. A lot of people think they got to stick in this crazy thing that they've cultivated, this outside view of themselves that they have no idea. True, none of us see ourselves how we truly are, the way other people see us. But there is a thing, people have this crazy, convoluted way that they see themselves. You know what I mean? Which is like, I missed the memo on this one, but it's just like, what are you doing? You staying in character the whole time? Like whoever this guy is, you're gonna just stay, you know, you're gonna stay in character the whole time. Okay, what's the payoff? You know what I mean? That's cool.
Yeah.
But you know, sometimes Andy Kaufman's just Andy Kaufman, right? I don't know.
Right. That's true. Ooh, speaking of Andy Kaufman, that was an interesting cat right there.
Exactly. And that's the thing. See, like he was on some other shit. Like, you know, like I tend to fuck with a lot of people like that. Like, I'm like, yo, I see what, you know, I get it. You know, like I was always also the cat too. Like, you know, if there was like, I'm a big Sopranos fan. I love the Sopranos, but when it was happening, I didn't want nothing to do with it. Like, I wasn't there. You know what I mean? Like once the hoopla and everything fell, you know, everything subsided and calmed down, I finally went back. What's this shit they all talking about? And then I finally started to get into it bit by bit. And now I look at the writing, I'm like, yo, this shit is fucking genius. I can't, you know, there's so many layers to it. And that's the other thing, keep you coming back.
Yeah.
As we're talking, I'm thinking of 17 other different stories that pertain to music, but isn't about music at all. But it is, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
well,
but Yeah,
So
like
I'm going for it. What do you got?
no, I'm just saying, like, you know,
Oh,
how all the worlds would collide is like, uh, I'd be on the road with Sublime,
uh-huh.
right, or the Sublime Cats. I'll be with Eric Wilson or Bud, and like fucking the dudes from Green Day. We were on the road with on at the Warped Tour, and like one of the dudes from Green Day comes on the bus like bumming weed. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, this is, I'm like I know who you are and I know everything. You know what I mean? I'm like I'm not a fan like that, but like we're talking about golf. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking to Trey Cool about a fucking the proper stance on a back nine. You know what I mean? I'm like in a tour bus in Arizona on like a Tuesday. I barely slept. I'm still fucking drunk. You know what I'm saying? Like, talking to a dude from Green Day about fucking golf on a tour bus. Like, like how do these things keep? Like, this is like, and a lot of times I wouldn't tell people stories either. Like, yeah, get out of here. Here he goes again with the stories. Yeah, right. Like, nah, man. Like, there's we're in London, Lordz of Brooklyn, right? Our
Okay.
manager at the time knew the dude from the Eurythmics, right? What's his name? Fucking
Oh man.
Stewart, Dave Stewart. We're
Yes.
in Dave Stewart's fucking rich, artsy apartment in the middle of this Piccadilly Circus, and like
Wow.
he's got like this Super 8 loop going on the wall, kind of like, all grainy, and he's got that fucking that Offspring loop going, which it's not. It's like some old like Arabian shit. He's got that
Yeah.
loop on the
Yeah.
wall, and he's sitting there talking to us, asking if we want turkey sandwiches. Like, what the fuck? Like, where, what timeline am I in right now? Like, I remember being a kid watching
Oh,
him and Annie Lennox,
I mean,
and I'm in his
that's
fucking kitchen. I'm in his fucking living room
how crazy. What year was
in
that?
London. That was 1995,
Man,
December.
so that's got to be mind blowing because yeah, I mean the Eurythmics is and then just to
Yeah.
be there, you just gave us like a Charlie Murphy story, like for Prince, because he instead of pancakes, you got turkey sandwiches. He
Yeah, he
offered you
gave
some
me some
turkey
Dave Stewart
sandwiches.
with some ill fucking. It looked like some fucking snuff film on the wall in the background. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Yo, Cave, man, where you bringing us,
Oh my
man?
God,
What's going
man!
on here? Yo, this one
Yo,
time, yeah, one time we had our Beatles moment in Italy. We got chased. We were doing an in store.
okay,
It's crazy. Like we were huge in Europe for some reason. Well, excuse me, not for some reason. They fucking worked our record fucking incredible. Everywhere we went, everywhere we were at, we got the welcome mat. You know what I'm saying? It was like
yeah,
so always super duper respectful and the best of this. It was really like whining and dining, right? So we were pretty big at the time. We had our song Saturday Night Fever was doing pretty good in Italy. And they were really pumped up the fact, the Italian American thing. We had the whole, the Bronx Tale look, the 60s Italian American
mhm,
Bronx look, and in Europe, I've noticed outside of the States, we're spoiled with American culture and everything like that we create over the years. And, we're spoiled with it. Outside of America, people don't listen to the propaganda out there. I mean, from what I remember, like, they are in love with everything fucking American culture. They won't admit it, but they are in fucking love with it. So of course the whole Scorsese look that we had, everything, it went over like they're very visual. It went over like gangbusters. So we're over there in an in store with us, and there was like a sea of like all girls. Like they were all like Catholic school type. They looked like, the very like like boarding type school, and it
yeah.
was just a sea of them the fucking outside the record store. And I'm just looking outside, and they're all like, ah! They're like, yeah, America! And they're screaming, they're fucking. It was like some Beatles shit. I was just like, I looked at the fellas, I was like, yo, bro, whoa, look at this. Like, are they coming to the gig tonight? Like, I don't know what's going on here. Like, we must be on TV all the time then for them to be out here like that. It was crazy. Yeah, we had to go out through the back door. It was pretty
Wow.
dope. There's so many sick European stories, bro. It was out of control. Japan, the fucking future.
What was your
These guys all
favorite?
went back.
So when you were traveling and you were touring and going overseas, and as you've gone through your career and your travels, where's your favorite spot to go?
Wow, of course, Italy was just that was dope. But believe it or not, man, Austria and Vienna
Austria.
were
Yeah.
fucking incredible, beautiful. Like you wouldn't believe. France was like I was completely disappointed. We were there a lot. Like we used to do a lot. We would do like a lot of the UK every weekend. So like we would do Amsterdam, Holland. You know, we were on a lot of the festivals, the summer festival circuits. We hit like big time. But we would do a lot of weekend joints like across the pond. We do England. You know, like Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night. Come back. You know, for the rest of the week back to the states. You know what I mean? So we did that a lot. And then when we did the full on tour, we were locked in for like a month and a half. And Poland was dope. Holy shit. Poland was crazy. Back when I was imbibing, when I was drinking too, forget it. They had the sickest vodka I've ever tasted in my life. Shout out to Leroy. He was like the huge rapper in
What kind of
Poland.
vodka? What kind of vodka was it?
Oh, it was potato vodka.
What
It
brand
was
was
made
it?
from potatoes. It was Luxusova. Before I had it here in the States. It's here
Gotcha.
now. It's a Polish box. It's called Luxusova, and I think they have for some reason I want to say Frederick Chopin is on the cover, is on the bottle,
Oh, no kidding. That's dope.
or no, or Chopin's another vodka that they had. My man, shout out my man Leroy. He was the one who put us on to all
Since you
this shit.
since you're talking about imbibing, like, what is your favorite cigar that you smoke? Because you smoke a cigar. I am part of a cigar club, and
Ah,
I'm a
yes,
cancer
sir.
survivor, so I always like
What was that like?
weigh.
What
I
kind of
weigh.
cancer did you suffer from?
I had kidney cancer, so renal
Okay.
cancer. I lost my left kidney in 2020, and
Wow, wow.
they
It just
caught it.
it came out of nowhere, or it was like,
Yeah,
what? How did
well,
you
cancer
reach you?
cancer runs in my family, and I've been, under a lot of different cancer things, and
Hmm.
still got. But what's cool about it is with that kidney cancer, the blessing was is I went to it was all in because I was just telling my daughter about this story, and enough about me, but uh
Nah, I want to know.
it was basically all in the same trip, because I remember leaving out here in the ambulance, and all in the same trip during the on the ambulance ride to the ER. I died, and they resuscitated me, but
Yeah, yeah. I
uh,
remember you saying that on. I
yeah,
heard you
I
said on
died
Gabriel, man.
twice. Yeah, I died twice. Once in 2014 and then once in 2020. But
And you're
the
back,
thing,
kid.
yeah, man, like I hope I got like 9 lives like a cat, right?
I think
So,
so.
so but I found out I had cancer and everything all in that same circle, right?
Yeah. So it was
And
like,
so what happened was is that, if it wouldn't have been caught during that time, and if I wouldn't have gone through what I went through, then maybe I wouldn't have found out in time, and it would have actually been to the point where it would have spread outside my kidney and
right.
to
And it
other
would have been a
spots, and
problem.
would have been a real big problem. But
Yeah.
for the most part, you lose your
That's not in the
focus.
plan, brother.
Yeah, so there's I mean, everything again, absolutely. I 100%, believe in a higher power, and I
Same.
don't, I don't preach or anything like that. I
No,
respect
I
everybody's
understand, bro.
beliefs.
I
Yeah,
get it.
yeah.
Yeah, you
So
gotta. Yeah, you got. I would. That's
yeah,
a. If out of it all, if I would tell my fellow man, my fellow woman, get right with God. If
yeah,
there's one thing I'm gonna ever tell you, is that. Just
yeah.
if you never say I never told you. I know people don't want to be, they don't want to be preached to, and the demons that they have attached to them don't like it, and they get very mad when they hear it. But it has
Well,
to be said.
well,
So
the thing is also like my thing is nowadays, and I have always made sure that um people have to win now in conversations, and what I'm trying to do is prove
I
that
like that.
like I want to bring back the days of when there's open dialogue, people can agree to disagree, people
Thank
of
you.
different values can get
Thank
together
you.
and have a conversation and learn, and still when you don't agree, you can still come away with understanding from a different person's perspective, right? Their side, and like,
100%.
okay, I learned something here. I have wisdom now because, and it gave me a different perspective on something maybe I didn't understand, right? So,
Absolutely.
like, that's where, and I tell that to my kids, man. Like,
Yeah, man, I agree.
sit down
We
and
forgot to talk to each other, man. No matter what, it's okay to disagree, man. It's okay to love yourself. It's
yes,
okay to say, I know that's not for me, man. It's okay to break out of the hive mind, man. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
That's the other thing too, man. Growing up, like you had to stand out, man.
yeah,
You didn't go along to get along.
yeah,
Dead fish float upstream. You ain't getting like it's getting. You know what I'm saying? The squeaky wheel gets the grease, bro. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't speaking up, you ain't being heard, you ain't doing
yeah,
something. Remember we used to say, "Oh, it's a gimmick." Remember it was a gimmick rap, right? It might blow up, but it won't go pop. The whole crossover thing was a gimmick in itself. But because you had us talking about it, it's good to bring awareness. It's good to get things talking. It's good to even get heated and passionate about things. That's dope. That means you're alive.
yeah,
However, you've got to learn from it. It can't just always be I'm right. Unless, of course, you got facts that no matter how you see it, you may not like it, but it's true. That's what I say. Like, it's the truth, not your truth, his truth, her truth. No, just the truth. And it's
yeah,
ugly and it's disgusting and it's beautiful all
yeah,
in one. It's what you. It's art. The truth is art. It's what you make. You know what I'm saying? It's how you perceive it. You know what I mean? Well, it's my
yeah,
truth. I'm like, yeah, no. But of course, like I could say, you know what I mean? I think water's wet. I don't really know. Well, go over there and feel it. What is it? Oh, it's wet. There's no disputing that. That right there, my friend, is called the truth. Water is wet. You're gonna wet your hand if you touch it.
yeah,
Never been debated. Never, you know what I mean? We could argue balls and strikes. But at the end of the day, fire's going to burn you and water's going to soak you. Okay? Remember that.
yeah.
Never lie to you.
Never lie
At
to
least
you.
not on those
Absolutely.
two things.
Yeah, you can't
You
breathe
stick that
underwater.
fork, you can't breathe underwater. You stick that fork in the socket, you're going to get electrocuted.
Yeah,
The plastic bag, although it looks good and can be called a helmet, I would advise you not to jump off the roof with it. You know what I'm saying? So I can't
nah,
believe
man,
we
I'm
even have to
Superman.
even, yeah, if we have to have these conversations I mean,
Oh Lord.
we were telling people how to fucking wash their hands a couple of years ago. I mean, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is where we're
Yeah,
at. So, yeah, this is because nobody talks. Nobody debates how, oh, well, I sing happy birthday when I wash my hands. Oh, yeah, well, I fucking scratch my nuts while I do one handed I fucking run it under the sink, each one. You know what I'm saying? Like, we talk about it. We talk about that shit. Come on, man.
shit.
Let's go. Fucking
You know,
go already.
when you talk about it, what pressure tried to reshape you guys in the 90s, and
Oh, where
what did you
again?
refuse? Because I know, whenever I talk to any of the icons and everything like that, and uh, you always hear like they immediately try to make you compromise. And
All
Muggs,
right.
I love the story about Muggs because he always says whenever one of those people would come around and say, "Yo, so and so and so and so," you'd be like, "That's a dope idea on your record." For your record,
Right, right.
like
It's
you go do that.
it's
This is my record, but that's a dope. Just go do that on your record, right?
it's
So
like when we DJ, or if you're DJing in a club or whatever, somebody's like, uh, "Hey, you got whatever you got."
yeah,
Play this one. You're like, yeah, you got that? Yeah, I got that at home. You want to listen to it? You go home and fucking play it.
yeah,
I'm not playing this shit. I'm playing what I have. Well,
yeah,
we got one of those things, a great story. Back in 1994, we were shopping on, this is before the deal we had with Rick Rubin, and we're with this dude. I'm not gonna say no names. And at the time, this is a real record company meeting, and they're trying to get us like a single. They're trying to get us something. They're trying to conceptualize how we're going to break in the door. You know what I mean? With the look, the feel. And at the time, it was 1994, and Gin and Juice was tearing up the charts at that time, right?
Yes, sir.
So this dude, I'm not gonna say who he was, but he was a legit guy in the business. He was like, I could see it now. Lords of Brooklyn, laid back. And we'll get like, and he was listening word for word to Laid Back, which is already a fucking song on Snoop Dogg already. And then he's like, we want to get like, how do you guys feel? We'll have like bandanas sticking out of the back of your pocket. Bandanas. Fucking five dootadoos from Brooklyn. He wants us in Crip bandanas, fucking talking about Lords of Brooklyn, Laid Back. I shit you not. It sounds like something out of a movie. I'm literally like in the fucking sitting in a big plush leather chair, all the trappings you could think of, cigar, little fat guy with the bald hair and everything. And I'm like, yo, man, this is a fucking parody. They really want, and everybody just looking at each other. Yeah. For the movie version, we flipped the table over and we walked out. But the reality version is we're just kind of like looked at each other like, did he fucking just say laid back? And literally, fucking Gin and Juice, Mine on My Money and My Money on My Mind is literally on the radio, fucking like tearing up the charts. But that's what they do. You know, I don't blame them. They're business people, right? They're not artists. And everything I've seen in the business, even still to this day, so-called business, is the cookie cutter effect. You know what I'm saying? Like fucking, fucking Cream blows up. Every fucking song, the way the record company's mindset is, every song has to sound like Cream. You got to use that sample. You got to get somebody from the Wu. You know what I mean? Like even before the Wu came out, you know what I mean? King Just, Warrior Drum, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya. He came out. They tried to. That was the other thing about this business back in the day. It was a race to who came out first.
Okay.
Who you own the spot of I came out. We dropped the 95. So in my mind, any rapper that came out in 96 on, I'm fucking ahead of them. Because I dropped the 95. Whatever, who cares? You didn't have hit, you didn't do whatever. No. The race to the top was to get the record deal. That was the holy grail. That means you were as dope as you said you were in a rap. You were that dope. Well, where's the deal? Yo, this dude, he's killing it. He's winning this battles. Where's the deal? Everything was contingent on the deal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, now we have the deal, and now we're hearing all of Start Your Life on Wax. Trust me, all of that shit that we're seeing in rap videos is really happening to us.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So that was another fucking mind-blowing part of the timed experience, fucking Paulie war stories. I was like, yo, we're fucking really living this.
That's
like
crazy.
This motherfucker really, yeah.
They try to get you with the Snoop Dogg
shit. We were Crips now from Brooklyn.
What did you say? What did you say to, like, how did you, like,
well, you know, it's like, look, you know, we all know. Yeah, I mean, we're in a roundabout way. Get the fuck out of here, 100%. Get the fuck you. Forget about it. What are you, nuts? In a roundabout way, fuck all the way off. Over there, go that way with that.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's like, look, we all know, obviously, we're from Brooklyn. We're not going to be, there's no way you could sell us with this current, you know, West Coast rap wave that's happening. And, you know, but for the most part, we're going to have to, you know, we're going to have to hit the studio and we'll come back tomorrow and we'll like that sort of shit. Like, yeah, all right, you know, we heard you out, but, you know, we're not doing that.
And speaking to that, because especially you had to probably be hearing a bunch of that with the fact that during 95, 94 and prior, like, you know, starting in 1991, West Coast started to really then boom, 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 and snowball, and that sound and everything had taken over. So it was very difficult and like, hard to have an East Coast group break through and have a hit, like an established hit on the radio to get play and
Yeah, that's the other
get
thing.
rotation, like actual like momentum behind it, right?
Yeah, the hurdle was to get the deal. Then you get the deal. Now you got to have the hit single,
Hmm.
right? Because the goal is to go platinum, right?
Hmm.
Everybody's like, no, we're going pop. Yeah, no, no. The minute you get in the door, it's almost like with politics. They're like, yeah, no new taxes. As soon as they get in the door, they get fuck all that shit. Listen, we're getting more fucking taxes than you ever fucking thought in your life. Fuck all that. You know, it's kind of what they do. Like, oh, we're gonna make a fucking mess. All right, you got the deal. All right, look, we want to do this right here. Forget all that shit here. We want you doing Heartbeat. We're getting fucking Nina Sky on the, you know what I mean? Or whoever the fucking hot is, you know what I mean? Like, we need a hit record and we need it now. That's basically, fuck all this artistry shit. You ain't doing none of that. You know what I mean? You're going to do what we tell you. Here's the book of sample. That's the other thing, too. The book of sampling and the book not to sample. They literally, that's a fucking real deal thing. Like, okay, you can sample Black Cow, but you're not going to make any money off of it. Well, why is
Right.
that? Well, because Steely Dan renders 100% of the publishing. What is publishing, you say? Publishing deals with what's going to make you rich in this business. What's that? Never mind all that shit. Come here. Listen, I got some nickels for you. Now, come over here. I wanted to show you all, you know what I mean? Then that's when they start with all the fucking bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So,
Hmm.
you know, uh, the whole point we thought was to get on was to make dope shit. And once you get in the door and you see who's really running Oz, it's like, yo, this is not. That was one of the things that I've been jaded more times than I care to remember about this whole business. You know what I mean? So it's like
Hmm.
once you get rid of all that, like what you think it's going to be, then you start really realizing that your lawyer is going to be your best friend for anything that, is anything with the word something, something business behind it. Get
Yeah.
yourself a lawyer. You know what I mean? I don't care if you're making widgets or you're fucking, you know what I mean? Or you're making rap records or whatever. So once I learned that took me a while to learn that one. So they don't tell you that one either. Although the lawyer's always around throughout it all. I know you just never see, look at that. Only if I got myself one of them. And
Yeah.
you learn. You know what I'm saying? That's what I
Hey,
learned out of it.
a dope story, and salute to that, man. Because I mean
Yeah.
that in itself is, the hurdle. Like you said, it's the progressions and the pressure that you face internal, as you go. It's like, all right, you get somewhere and you're like, man, if I could only get there, right?
Yeah.
And you get there and then you're like,
Realize
ooh,
it ain't what you thought it was going to be. Your
yes,
vision of what you thought getting there was, and then actually getting there are two fucking different things. You know what I'm saying? And
yes.
that's what I had a hard time. And that's what I say too. Like what worked for me, and not everybody is the same. And thank God for that, right? But
Hmm.
what worked for me was walking away from shit and just like, like you gotta hate it to find out if you love it again. I know I keep saying that, but yeah, like you kind of like once you realize what it is, you put it down, and if you come back to it and you get excited, I used to like start for a while there. I started treating like making music as like playing softball, being in the softball league. When I feel like I want to get together with the fellas, I'll dust off the mitt, grab the old bat, head to the diamond, right? You know what I'm saying? Get in there, start playing because you can get to a certain level of all this. Like I was listening to Psycho Les say, like when you're around producers like the way that we used to do records, like you had to it wasn't enough after you made the demo and they liked it. Now everything that's on that demo you have to bring to a studio and
Hmm.
recreate everything on that demo in that studio onto 2-inch tape. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So you don't know this shit until you actually get thrown in the trenches, right? And so when you're around producers and really good managers, really good rappers, really good writers, whoever, if you got that spark, you're gonna level up. It's like say, you want to play with Jordan, you know what I mean? You got to beat Pippen first. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta, and it's true. I believe that. You're around those people, and if you got it, they're gonna, it's steel sharpens steel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're gonna rise. You're gonna get something out of it. Something's gonna. It's hard to explain, But it's like, you know it, whether you're playing ball or whatever, and there's that one dude you like to spar with. There's one dude, you know what I mean, that kind of gets that thing out of you that you can't get, you know what I mean, normally.
Yeah.
Or it took that person to unlock that in you. So now you can go there. I treated a lot of it like that. And a lot of the time, I have to walk away. Where other people are like, oh man, I can't write unless my life is falling apart and this. I'm like, fuck all that. That's dead, man. I can't write unless my shit is like, you know what I mean? Clear head. Then I can start thinking of all kinds of crazy shit. When I got something in the way, I got a rock in the way of my path. I got to move that shit. I'm only worried about moving that rock out of the path so I can keep walking. You know what I mean? Then the creative juices will flow. I can't work under duress like that. You know what I mean? Or like people like, they got to have drama in their life for them to write, or they can only write if they're smoking pliff, or, you know what I mean? They can, like he's, funny thing is I heard some kid, he couldn't have been born at 14. He's talking about a Lamborghini and shit. I'm like, what? Lamborghini?
Yeah,
You're
if you got it like
14.
that at 14, bro, like,
Not
woo.
even fucking. I'd rather hear you talk about some 14-year-old shit that I don't even know about. I'll be like, what is that? Oh, this is a kid. The game. The kids are in there. Oh shit, huh? Like I don't want to hear about some shit that fucking adults know about. You're a kid.
Yeah.
you just. It's like a homeless dude rapping about he's Bill Gates. It's like, yeah, I can't wrap my head around that one. I can see that you want to be that, no doubt. I just don't. It's not
Hey, well,
working.
that's their version of faking it till they make it, right? But
Hey, God
they
bless,
faking the
right? Hey,
funk.
if they're not hurting nobody, go ahead. Fucking break a leg. Who gives a fuck?
I mean, my thing is I do always say in respect to anybody's thing and get down is nobody can be you but you and be you at all times because
Absolutely.
mental health is important. And if you keep
Yeah.
putting on these different masks for different people and all of that stuff, man, all you're doing is abusing yourself. So you need to be
Yeah.
genuine and true to yourself and stick with, not going with laid back. As they say.
Definitely not. My
I
question is how do we get these? How do we get that to not be the thing? How do we bring originality back? How do
it's
we break this clone mode?
bro, I think it's coming back just because there's artists that are I mean, look at 2025 and 2026 and the reemergence of all of the artists that are touring because of the anniversaries, but also putting out new music. I mean, Nas and Premier, M80 last week, he was the one that helped put the whole Rakim album together and got Rakim to come out of
I heard
retirement.
him talking about that. I gotta look.
Yeah.
I gotta check that out.
I mean, so like that whole thing, there's so many De La Soul, and
Yeah.
Tribe came out. Like there's so many, it's called adult contemporary hip hop is what a member of B-Boys Underground alumni, they've been on multiple times. Shout out to Abstract Mind State and the gentleman is named Old School Ice Cree, and he absolutely coined the phrase and is trying to get it into the Grammys. He's already got it into a bunch of other award shows and getting it classified as adult contemporary hip hop. And it's basically so artists, that have the traditional hip hop sound, boom bap sound, the originality, not the biting and the pop sound, but
Right.
hip hop is over 50 years old and
Yeah.
just like rock, there's many different genres of hip hop. There's, emo hip hop. There's just all these different, just different facets of hip hop, which is
I think that's
beautiful in
dope.
itself. It's dope, right? And it's
I
integrated
think they need
itself.
that.
It's in everything. It's in everything, right?
They need that.
He's got that going, and that's the reason why it's ACH, adult contemporary hip hop, and I think that if we continue to push this and have on this platform young artists, established artists, old artists, icons, and continue to get together and have these conversations and do it again, like, hey, we can agree
Yeah.
to disagree, because I always love to have the younger cats on too and get to learn,
Yeah.
man, and be like, wow, I appreciate that, because My thing is, I always want to make sure I learn something from somebody and connect with them on some level at the end of the
That's
show,
the
and people
main
can
thing.
hopefully do it right because we're having a human experience, not to get too out there and shit, but like but it
Right.
is for real. You know what I mean? We're connecting and just having real conversations.
Yeah.
And I don't want to go without mentioning what you are currently working on right now. All
The
right,
Brooklyn
and
Pop.
so this looks so fucking dope. I mean, my God, if I wish I had the ability to get out there, fam, because I
You
want
would love
to
it.
see this, man.
Bro, you would love it. I know you. I know everything. We're the same age. All of the things we grew up with, pop
Tell
culture
me
wise.
about this, man. What is it? Like, because tell
Yo,
everybody, I
no
know
dope.
I've studied it. So tell everybody out there that doesn't know what this is, please tell them what they
All
will
right.
experience.
First things first, right? I want to agree with what you just said with the adult contemporary hip hop because I one thing that always drove me sick is hip hop, rap music, whatever the culture in general is you age out. That shit's
Yes.
got to stop. The ageism has got to stop. You can't. They didn't do that to the Stones. They didn't do that to fucking Coltrane. They didn't do that to fucking big band leaders. They were allowed to rock with their genre and encourage new, young, old, and people that put in the time, the work, and the experience. Right? What it was rendered to is nothing but a bunch of one-hit wonders. Right?
Yes.
That shit's dead. You got to give everybody their flowers. And yeah, you're right. You got all different. You got the weirdo, the emo, the native tongue. All of this, it has to be all represented,
Hmm.
and there has to be the artist if he's still alive. Bring him out.
Yep.
Give him his flowers. Let him do his part of what he did in the culture. So
Yes.
say that to say this: the Brooklyn Pop is first thing is it's a standing museum. It's an immersive theater that we do called a Brooklyn Dream once a month. But in the Sunset Park area in Brooklyn, Industry City is the Brooklyn Pop, and it's all the pop icon cultural stuff that we grew up with. The Warriors, Sal's Pizzeria from Do the Right Thing. These are all built, handmade, built sets from the movie, recreated in this 11,000 square foot space in an art gallery. And each one of those sets we bring to life. Caves brings it all together by telling his story through his three generations, from his grandparents to his parents to him, and him becoming the graffiti writer and the graffiti dude at an early age, and how each one of the Brooklyn pop icons, like the Brooklyn Dodgers and his parents, and World War II and his grandparents and his grandmother, uh, she was one of the Patron sisters. They made a record in Brooklyn, and like they wanted to, they had the Hollywood dream. So he tells all the stories starting back from his grandparents, how they
Yeah.
settled in Brooklyn, how his parents met, how he was born, how he became the graffiti dude. And it tells the story of how we became the Lords of Brooklyn, how he curated and created the whole Lords of Brooklyn movement from the graffiti thing, wrapping around all of the iconic Brooklyn things like Barbara Streisand. We have Mara Kay. She plays the young Barbara Streisand. She does a little monologue singing thing, and it's Caves is telling the story of him as the 20-year-old Caves, which his young son, who's around his age at the time, is playing him, playing his father, which is another crazy turn of events of how it turned out organically too. He didn't come up with this. So his son is telling the story of himself to the audience, taking you through the Brooklyn in the 50s and Barbara Streisand and all the seltzer bottles and all these things. Then it comes to Ralph Cramden. I play Ralph Cramden, but it's really a mix of his grandfather was a bus driver on the Jackie Gleason route in Brooklyn, which they have to this day. They have the Jackie Gleason Depot in Brooklyn, Sunset Park, and
Wow.
he used to drive that bus, and he was kind of giving the wrong change back then. You used to have to give change on the bus. You know what I mean?
Oh
And
yeah.
he was
Get
kind of giving
transfers.
he was getting up there in age, and he was starting to give the wrong transfer or the wrong thing. So they took him off the bus, he died when he was young. Caves was still a baby, but he always would like to think of him as Ralph Cramden. So I come in full on Ralph Cramden because who doesn't love Jackie Gleason from our era and the honeymoon is just
Respect.
I go off on that. And then you got Joe D'Onofrio from the Bronx Tale. He played Henry in Goodfellas when he was a little kid.
Yes.
He's in all the mob movies. He's in the next scene over where Caves' father was half connected, and his friends in the social club. There's a whole social club room of it's like you're transported back to the '60s in Queens, and they got this whole thing there. And then they takes you through. Nicky Petito plays Danny Aiello and Do the Right Thing, and Mark McNeil plays Mookie. They do a whole thing because Caves brought Public Enemy to Brooklyn at a time where the whole Yusuf Hawken thing was going down in Bensonhurst, and Caves, who had started the Lordz of Brooklyn rap group, brought Chuck D to a disco in Brooklyn called Ernie Barry's. Then they tell that story through the whole Mookie Fight the Power thing. It's on a set on the Sal's Pizzeria set from Do the Right Thing, recreated in this spot. Then they got Tony Manero from Saturday Night Fever. They have the dance floor. It's just, I mean, the Warriors. They got all these. They got the Baseball Furies running. I don't want to give too much away of the story, but the sets all come to life with all your favorite actors and actresses from these movies recreated by our actors and actresses. There's music going on. It's like a whole block party feel. The whole place is done up like 1950s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s Brooklyn. Storefronts, gratings, Warriors, caves. He built a whole train like layup. Back in the days, you go to bomb a train, it had to be laid up, and you would go into the train, the layup. And he built a whole track with a whole fucking train in there. It's sick, and he tells the story of all of these Brooklyn icons and him, and then the story of all of us with the Lords of Brooklyn, and you walk through it, and we act it out, and you're in on it, and you're watching, cops chase him through the layup, and you're watching, gangsters, cops and robbers and fucking singing. They got a live band playing in all different areas. It's like a block party. It's incredible, and it tells a story. And Little Caves, who's obviously Little Caves' son, he does a job that's masterful. And the crazy thing for me is I was there through everything in this. Pretty much in this whole story. So it's really a trip for me to see. He recreated when I was telling you earlier and when we first started, I would go over to their apartment, and he recreated that apartment that they had on 183 Gelston Avenue. He recreated the room that they grew up with, him and his brother Adam, where they had the turntables in. They had pieces on their bunk beds. Like his mom was so cool, they would let him piece the walls. He recreated that room in the fuck. That's where the first demo started. It's incredible how much shit that he was able to keep over the years.
Wow.
He got the real front doorway of the apartment that they grew up in, where we worked on the whole All in the Family record. Like, it's in the place. Like, he got it from the actual fucking building. It's incredible. Caves did a crazy job. Donna, his wife, they curated this thing. It's incredible. And Master Ace was there. Ralph McDaniels was there. My man Keo was there. Rosie Perez is there. My man Hayes is there. I mean, there's so many graffiti. Debbie Mazar. I mean, everybody and anybody in the New York City film, music, graffiti, breaking, rap industry over the past 35 years has been coming through. And we're going to do it this Saturday, the 31st, January 31st in Brooklyn, New York. Everybody out there in Colorado, I wish you could come out here. Everybody out there in Virginia, it starts at 5:15.
How do they get tickets?
You go to Ticket Hub or check out my page, paulnugentworks.com, or go to the Brooklyn Pop or Mystic Caves and go to any one of the links, and you can get the tickets at I think Ticket Fair.
Yeah,
I believe.
Yes, sir. And the
Yeah.
links to everything, they are in the description and the chat. Basically, I will also put in links as well into the chat for
Yes,
everyone
sir.
to follow everybody here right now. It'll populate and everything, and we've got that posted up. So those are all of the
Yeah, man.
official links to everything. Paulie IG, Lords of Brooklyn, a Brooklyn Dream page, and
Check it all out.
there's also, I included the Lords of Brooklyn Wikipedia page in there for you too.
Yes, sir.
Just so
Say
you
what's
guys
up.
can
Say
get some-
hello. I'm always around. I'm always down to chat.
Man, like, you know, there's so much I want to talk to you about, and I want to be respectful of your time and everything.
Yeah,
like that.
my battery is
That's
coming down to the thing, but
that's what
we're gonna have to do a part 2. That's what we're gonna have to do.
I ask you two questions, two final questions. Well, shit, it's because your
Sure.
battery's low. All right, so is there any plans to have anything documented, like for the whole tour of the museum or anything like that, or have the play recorded at all?
Yeah, I believe Caves has a lot of things coming for 2026. There's going to be a
Awesome.
YouTube page coming up soon. As soon
Okay.
as I get all those links, I will shoot them over to you, Ghost Boogie,
Please,
100%.
and I will promote
without a
it,
doubt.
because this is something I have been so excited to talk to you about and learn about, because and even just what you said, it's all about the culture, and it seems like it's about like everything and everybody that's in the culture is a part of it, and it's beautiful. Salute to you.
Yeah, it's really, we got everybody involved. Everybody's included in this one. Everybody from Brooklyn, everybody that made it look dope, everybody that inspired me, you, him, them, everybody out there. This is what made people come to the borough. This is what Guru would sing about BROOK, Lynn the Planet.
Yes.
It's beautiful, and I'm
Yes.
highly honored, and I treat it like that, one of the highest honors.
Well,
Come full circle for not only me and the crew.
And you inspired by Jackie Gleason, who's one of my favorites, because look, Smokey and the Bandit was my favorite, and his character is Smokey and the Bandit. That's my cat, man. Where
You
are you,
petite
son of a
butter.
bitch? Yeah.
You
So,
son of a bitch.
so last question. What is your favorite cigar?
My favorite cigar I am been hitting on right now is the Connecticut Nub, a Nub brand, the Connecticut cut I like, and I also like the Rocky Patel.
Ooh, those
Any of
Lucky
this,
Patels are-
15th edition, 25th edition, really good shit.
Yeah.
I'm close to the Pennsylvania border here, so I go over there and get my cigars for at least $3 or $4 cheaper.
That's dope. Go
So-
over there and support them. I love any Deadwood
Deadwood's
cigars.
good shit too. I like that too.
Ooh, they have a new one that just released. Check that one out. I forget the name of it, but it's brand new, and it is fucking flavorful and amazing. So listen,
And the
guys,
Drew Estate's good too.
Drew Estates, period. Like anything by Drew Estates.
We gotta do a quick little half-hour episode just on cigars.
Absolutely, and I would love to have you back. I thank you so much.
Anytime, brother. Thank you so much, man.
You
It's
got
so great to
anything-
meet you and
shout outs
talk
to
and
anybody?
kick it. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to you. Shout out to my man Gorilla. You know what I'm saying? He's the one who set it all up, linked it all here. You know what I mean? Gorilla Strong. He hooked it all up. Shout out to all you guys, C-, everybody involved with the B-Boys Underground. Shout out Son Doobie. Shout out Be Real. Shout out Danny Boy, Mr. Caves, Lords of Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? Craig, all my boys in the chat. Yeah, everybody, bro. New York.
All right. Hey,
Let's
look,
go. Let's
keep it
go.
positive, keep it pushing, keep persevering. We out. Peace, y'all.
Thank you, my brother.